Hello everyone, my name is Sophie and this is how I got over my food addiction. So back in November last year, November 2018, I decided that I wasn't going to binge eat anymore. I was completely fed up with it. I got to a point where I pretty much hated eating. I didn't even enjoy binging anymore. I would battle with myself pretty much on a daily basis, like several times a day. There were times in my life where I would be stuck in the car because I could not decide if I wanted to just go home or get something else to eat. There are so many times where I've driven around wanting to stop at KFC, but at the same time wanting to go home and just not eat, having this battle with myself. And I just got to the point where I was just sick of it. I was sick of this addiction basically, and that's what it is, like binge eating and putting on weight because you just love food that much that you're going to put on that much weight, because I'm still obese at my weight now. So November 2018, I decided I wasn't going to binge anymore. I can't do it anymore. And how I did it is as follows. So at the time, I was eating relatively normally during the day. So I would have like breakfast, lunch and dinner, just usual meal times, everything pretty normal, except that obviously like wasn't eating like super healthy. I wasn't eating like terribly for my like breakfast, lunch and dinner. Like my breakfasts were really good. Always, like most of the time for me, breakfast has been the healthiest meal that I can do. Lunch pretty normal, dinner okay, but then at night time, that's where the trouble was. When I put my kid to bed, put her to bed, it was like my free time, and it still is like that. But at the time, that was my special time that I can like just sit down, watch Netflix, watch a movie, and just eat basically. And just knowing like throughout the day, like when I'm having just like a really shitty day, I would always just think, oh, at least I've got chips in the pantry. Oh, at least I've got chocolate. At least I've got this and I've got that. Just knowing that I had that food in the pantry, I could get through anything. Like I literally could get through anything. Just knowing that like at nighttime I can just sit down, block out the world and just eat. And it was like an entertainment for me. It was like, it was an addiction, but it was also something that I had sort of developed this addiction to it because it was like my entertainment. It was a way, it was like a de-stressor as well, but it was just a way it was something to look forward to, you know. I think for somebody, just someone with a normal relationship with food, they might look forward to a cup of tea at night time. They might look forward to something small, but I looked forward to like this huge binge basically, and it would have been like thousands upon thousands of calories of a binge, as binges usually are, obviously. I'm a little bit all over the place with this, so I do apologize for that. Basically, I was addicted to food, needed that release. I think a part of it was also just eating to block things out. It was a way to de-stress. You know, it's to eat chips and chocolate. It's very like relaxing in a weird way. You know, it's very satisfying, like to eat chips. You know, like chips are like crunchy. They taste really good. So just to get that instant gratification, you know, I suppose it is similar to someone who is on drugs. Not that I know much. Admittedly, I really don't know like that much, or haven't really had issues like that. But it honestly, it's just too similar. I can't help but just say it was an addiction. I was a binge eater. I was addicted to food. I was using it as a stress relief, pain relief, entertainment. But yeah, definitely got to the point where as I said at the start of the video, I got to a point where I didn't even enjoy it anymore. There's been so many times in the last few years where I've just literally hated myself because of what I've been eating. You really feel so defeated. You've eaten so much and you feel so sick, and the next day to just have that regret all go away, it's impossible. You go through this cycle of binging, and then you feel this horrible guilt. You feel just the lowest low for what you've done, but then the next day you wake up and it's like it never happened, and you just have that trigger. You have this urge to binge again, and that's how it was for me. Like, it was pretty much a daily thing where it was like feeling the urge, fighting that urge, and then ultimately losing and binging and feeling that regret, and then of course it just continues the next day. So yes, I didn't know that there were these groups and so many people like on YouTube, Instagram, have dealt with or are dealing with binge eating, and I just did not know that it was like a thing. I just literally thought that I was like horrible. I've sort of always thought like I just really like food, and I think when I was living, when I was a teenager, when I was at my parents' house, I think I was not addicted to food at that stage, but when I went to uni, I think that's when it did get out of control. Because I was on my own, I could just go out at 11 o'clock at night and be like, oh, I'll have something now. Just order like way too much food. So I think like that's when that's when it developed, I think. And I think it is important to look back and realize what has how did it happen, because I think there's a huge difference. So sorry, it's so windy right now. And that's just a noise that my window makes. I hope you can't hear that. I think there's a huge difference between binge eating and overeating, because for me, just overeating / overconsumption, because I feel like there's also a difference between overeating and just having too many calories. To me, there definitely is, but that they're totally different from binge eating. Binge eating is like on another level. You're addicted to food. I'm not sure if like binge eating and food addiction is the same. I think it's like an interchangeable thing. I don't think it's like binge eating and food addiction is the same thing. I think it is definitely linked, the same, some sort of thing going on there. But for me, it was definitely like food addiction, binge eating together. Yeah. So I'm already getting really thirsty. So obviously I'm still obese. I'm still fat. And I'm making this video now because I want to just share the actual journey with you. I don't want to just like wait until I've lost the weight and I'm just magically a perfect person and I'm just so happy now, because I just feel like I've made so much progress. I just feel like a completely different person since the person, compared to the person I was in November. I just feel totally different. Please excuse the wind, I'm so sorry about that. It's so windy. I've lost 10 kilograms since the start of the year. When I first started my weight loss journey, it wasn't really like a weight loss journey. It was more just not wanting to binge. I pretty much started because I just didn't want to binge anymore. And that was pretty much just because I didn't want to feel bad anymore. Because a lot of the time I was feeling really bad. I'd wake up in the morning and I feel bad straight away because I'd just be thinking how crap I felt from the previous night because I'd binged. If you do want to lose weight, if you do want to be healthy, you can't be binging, obviously. You're not going to be losing weight if you're binging. Was almost getting to the point where I was thinking like, how am I going to deal with this? Like, if I don't actually do something, there's going to be a day where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just going to be fat, I'm just going to let myself put on heaps of weight and just fuck that. And thank God that didn't happen, because Sometimes I honestly really feel like, thank God I'm my size and I'm not bigger. I know this is not like, it doesn't mean I'm just like a perfect bill of health, but every time I've been to the doctor, like in my whole life, I have always had healthy blood pressure. And I just actually had my blood done the other day, or blood pressure test, and it was perfect apparently, but it's fucking hell, this wind, and I'm just so lucky. I think that's just literally, that's just genes, that's just mum and dad and my grandparents, and just that's them, that's not me at all, because like, wow. Honestly, I feel like I'm really lucky to actually be this size and not be bigger and not have like, you know, more problems or anything like that. Because at the moment, my only, and sort of previously, because as I said, I think I've already said that I've lost 10 kilograms since the start of the year, which is quite slow. I mean, January to September, I've lost 10 kilograms, well 11, but like, you know, I've lost like 11 kilograms in 9 months. And you could sort of think, well, that's not really that much. Like, you know, you've lost like, say, for Americans, that's like 20 pounds. Is it 20 pounds? I think. I'll put that right here. It's been such an amazing, it's just been such an amazing journey, because there have been times where I haven't really been focusing on weight loss, and I've just been focusing on like life. You know, life's been a bit shit. I've definitely made it more of a priority though, like as the year goes on. But it is really slow, but I really like to think of it as I'm doing it slowly, but I'm doing it properly. Like, I'm really putting in the time for myself to get over this binge eating. And at the moment, I guess I would say like that I'm in binge eating recovery, but I honestly feel like, God willing, I'll never binge eat again. Like, I would never binge again. There have been days where I've eaten things and I've kind of felt uncomfortable, and I've sort of thought to myself, was that a binge? And I think to myself, no, it's not a binge, because you didn't lose control. You just sort of, you overate. Like, it was not actually a binge. Like, you didn't, binging is when you, like, there is nothing that's going to stand in your way. Like, you will go through this like torture in your head about, you want to get something, you don't want to get something, you want to get something. And then literally once you decide, fuck it, I'm getting that, I'm getting Macca's, I'm getting these chips or whatever, there is nothing that's going to stand in your way. You will get that, and you will get a lot of whatever you're getting. But if you you know, think, oh yeah, I might have a donut, I might have a donut, and then you think, oh my gosh, I've actually gone over my calories for the day. That's sort of to me, that is like over consuming / overeating. It's not actually binging. Like, if you just had something that maybe you shouldn't have had, and maybe you've had too many calories, or maybe you do feel a bit too full, it's not binging. That's just, in my book, that is not binging. There's a huge difference. But that's pretty much me. That is literally me. This is my first video, and it's a bit basic. I'm wearing this. I just realized I'm wearing this. Please join me on this journey. I'm gonna lose, how much am I gonna lose? I think I've got another like 40 kilograms to lose, 50 kilograms in total, and that is about this many pounds. And I've got like 40 kilograms left to lose, 39 to be specific. 39 kilograms. I was 110 kilograms at the start of the year. I'm now 99 kilograms, and I want to get down to 60. So here we go.